this video I'm just showing the basic moves with the paint brushes and a little bit of experimentation, with the brushes to show what they're capable of, to help you to understand a painting like this, and hopefully how to get there in the hopefully the near future. Here's the video. Okay, let's take a look at a few brushes before we get started. And I'm just going to make some marks with these so you can see what they do. They all do their own thing. So I've got a little bit of Prussian blue here. Really doesn't matter. This is just for a demonstration. That's all. Just a bit of paper. So let's give this a little go. So I'm thinking about the sea. And I can draw it along flat. I can draw it along and I can put pressure and do that. The other side, if I turn it around and I turn it and then turn it back, could be quite interesting. First of all, we're just going to do that, and then we're going to do this, put a bit of pressure, and finally we're going to do this, turn it, come back. Okay. So let's put this on the edge. We can do that. We can do this with pressure. It's quite useful, it's a nice one. Turn it on the other side, turn it, do that, on the side, put some pressure, and then turn it. Okay. No point doing this flat brush, it'll do the same as the other one. Right, fan brush. Gonna have to go this way now. So on the side, put some pressure. And turn, and now got a bit of space, and let's put a bit of pressure, and let's give it a turn. Okay, now we've had a little look at that, I just want to show you with this liner brush. I really love liner brush for painting the sea. I'm just going to make lots and lots and lots of lines, and let's just see how this comes out. So don't worry about that. See, it's already starting to look like the sea. See, the control of the brush is really important as well, because I can use it right on the tip, so it's very, very, very light. I can also press down on it. I can turn it. Turning it gives an unexpected sort of edge, which is important sometimes. This is really working in reverse, but I just want to show you the kinds of lines and how they start to form the sea. Now the nice thing about these brushes, these ones, they hold a lot of paint. So let's show you this one. Let's see how far we get. See, it's already breaking up. It's okay though, some of these lines are also quite nice, there's nothing wrong with that, but not the same. You haven't got that, you can't get that real fine line with this brush. Oh, actually I'm doing it now. Yeah. Let's try with this one. I mean, really great at the moment for blocking in, especially covering large areas. Okay, let's try the fan brush. This fan brush is a little bit old, by the way. It's maybe not behaving the way it should, but it's interesting. Let's see what this one does. Quite interesting. Holds plenty of paint as well, so it's good. Okay, let's give this one a go. See what this one does. Try a couple of twisty examples. So that edge happens so quickly when you're turning it. So you're not trying to go like this. You're just dragging it along. Okay, you can move yourself a little bit, but so you get these nice edges. Just going to use up this bit of space. It doesn't hold so much paint, so you'll get this breaking, but that can also be quite useful as well. So interesting. So these are a few experiments that we've done. We've got obviously this one. Let's do it in order. This one. This one. This one. And of course a little tester. So I'm going to take this rigger brush. I've just mixed up a bit of titanium white and a bit of cobalt blue. So I've just made like a sky colour. So let's see. See that? We've already got some nice little things happening. Now this is acrylic paint, of course, and I'm applying it a little bit diluted, obviously because it needs to flow. I can't put it on too thick because it just won't flow. So you'll have to go over it a few times, but the transparency itself can be very useful. Now the background of this is just Prussian blue. I've just painted on a little bit of cardboard, just so that I can show you. So obviously you need to create a background. So whatever is going to be the darkest part of your sea, you can put that down first and then work over it. Now you see I've just changed the angle. This is just a very quick little demo, but just to sort of point out a few little things, because it's exactly the same as what I was doing on those bits of paper. I'm just going to show you in a very simple way how easy it is to start building up something that starts to look like the sea. But you're going to be painting over quite a lot of your painting. So if you think about it, that your whichever layer that you're working on is preparation for the next, if you sort of look at it that way. And just knowing that quite a lot of it you're going to be painting over. But don't be precious about the things that you've done. If they need to be painted over, they do, and that's it. Being precious about the things that you've done, knowing that things need to be changed, will just hold your work back. Okay, that's enough for that one. Same kind of thing. See what we can do with this. And I've got to think about dark areas, places that the light isn't touched. So it's just the colour of the sea, basically. You know, the deep colour in this case of the sea. So I want to leave that. What would be very nice here is if we had another tone like this dark one, and we was working with that, we could have created a nice little transition, but you're not going to be able to do it so well with this. So let's try now with, there's no point me going through all these brushes, they're all going to do different things, but let's try now with another colour. So I've just put a little bit of Prussian blue on there. Now let's take some of this colour here and let's see if we can make something in between this one and this one. Just do a little bit at a time. Just to see how that looks. And now I'm going to work with this. Now remember that this is that colour. Right, let's just show you how this is going to look. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking the paint off. See? And let's do this again. Looking like a nice little bit of sea there, isn't it? Just got to be careful not to overdo it, that's the thing. Now the hard part is starting, it really is, because just is. But you've got to start somewhere. It looks a little bit weird in the beginning, and then it starts to sort of make a bit of sense then. I'm just thinking about, you know, where my light's coming from, so this is like a sort of general light, so not too bothered right now. So I want to leave some of this because this is important. There's another tone in there, so I don't want to paint over the whole thing. I've got to be careful about where that light is actually sitting on top of the sea. I'm being quite fine here because I'm working very small. But you've got to be prepared for some of this to disappear. Oops, never mind. Mistakes will happen sometimes. Okay, so you get the idea. There we are. Keep your tones close, nice and close. You'll get a better result. Or should we put it here? Okay. And some of this. Let's get another tone sorted out. Let's try now with this darker tone. You know, that's blended in really nicely, so there's little details there. I can see them, they're not really obvious like they shouldn't be, like on these ones. So they've actually been knocked back quite a bit, but still, you know, looks a lot better, doesn't it? So now let's start on this. So I want to leave some of this, but not too much of it. Exactly. Right, let's work up here a little bit now. Now thinking about the water going behind, I'm just going to continue on the other side of this. I can do that and just run it up to the the edge of that, and now you've got the impression that something is lifted up here. Fine, let's go to the next colour. Here we are. Now we're into this one. So a little bit lighter still, you can see. And let's see what this does. Now we've got 3 tones already and we've still got 2 more to use. And let's add some highlights. I'm just going to sort of jitter around with this. So I'm keeping that quite thin. Coming down this way. So you know, a lot of that underpainting that I did is gone, but what you've got is a little 3-dimensional seascape. Tiny little bit of white on there. Could turn that into a wave, no problem. Could put a bit of sea foam on there if you wanted to as well. But anyway, this is just to show a very simple effect of how to build up the sea, and yeah, if you just sort of follow, you know, steps, it's a lot easier. All my tones here, so I can use those if I wanted to add things or take things away. Okay, let us take a little recap. Just going to go through how we started, just playing around with some textures and movement and so on, and seeing what the brushes can do. Yeah. To then transform into this. So you can see, I think, if I was to put, for example, this one, you can see the basic idea there. Sorry about the light on this. So if we turn this around, I'm hoping that you can see some of the principles on there and how it sort of translates onto something like this. Let's take a look at this one. Well, it doesn't matter about all this light coming from here. Just so I can show you, if you just look, for example, at an area like this, you can see that there's actually little pieces, different tones, and it's all making this this work, you know, because you've got this sort of 3-dimensional effect from it. Lots of movement, lots of changes of angles. You can see where things are going, and also why. You can see that this is lifting. It's lifting from here. This part then goes into here. That comes across. This comes down into here. You could actually follow it. You see? So because it's all cause and effect, so this is the important thing. One thing affects the other, and you have to show that with your painting, because that's the reality of it. And you can see also, for example, in areas like here, you know, there's a very, very close tone to the dark one. It's very, very close, but it's still, you can still see it. It's still in there. It's very important. Let me see if I can get you a close-up. So you can see all the little tones down in there, all the little bits and pieces, you know, they're all in there. The tones are close to each other. And yeah, this is an oil painting, but when I'm painting with oils in this way, it's the same principle as with the acrylics. I hope this video has been of some help. Yeah, it's very interesting, you know, when you see it, you know, from its, you know, very basic structure and how it can be developed, you know, just with refining. It's interesting. It's interesting. But you know, it's very important that, you know, that you experiment. You know, you have a play around. You're gonna probably really destroy a lot of paintings. I mean, I certainly did. You know, you're gonna get frustrated with it, and it's not working, and so on, and that's all okay. As long as, I think, as long as you know where you're going wrong, basically, that's it. You know, you have to understand, you know, why you made the mistake, and then it's okay. It's not really a loss anymore because you've learned something from it. It's impossible to do it any other way. I think, you know, you're gonna make mistakes. It's coming. That's it. And I still make mistakes now and then. It does happen. You know, I think happens to probably most or all artists. It's just one of those things. We have our good days and bad days. When I first started painting seascapes, one of the things I did was I studied so much, you know, just looking at other artists, and just to see how it worked and why. That was really important. You know, why did it look like that bit was coming up there? You know, why was that happening? You know, look at the lines and look at the tones, and, you know, how did they do that? And look at the angles. You know, all of those things are all keys to sorting your paintings out. Please check my website, www.vernonwjones.com. Take care. See you soon.